Henshin a go guys and gals and fighting enthusiasts of all ages. Kyle here, back to bring you more news about fighting games and any other hype news alike. Glad to have you back. I'm feeling a lot more well rested and my voice is a lot better. So I'm really happy to bring more news about just anything cool. A couple things I want to talk about today to make things short are related to Tekken and Dragon Ball Z Fighters. I was going to talk about BlazBlue Cross Tag Team Battle, but it's mostly related to the Persona characters that have been released, and that's kind of been a regular thing. I honestly don't know too much about Persona. I'd like to, honestly. I like to play Ultramax. But maybe they might actually come out with new versions of those games. That's something maybe I'd always hope for. But nonetheless, let's focus on the matter at hand. So what we have today here are, I guess, Tekken. Let's start with that, seeing as that's the smallest amount of news. Tekken actually released a new, basically, character skin for Lars, and as well as new interface setups. But I wanted to also talk about the netcode for Tekken, and not the fact that it's awful, because I have been playing it a lot recently, and it's really good. I still have fun with it, but there's more than often the fact of that it's there are too many disconnects, and there's been a lot of just bad matches and bad connections. And honestly, the interface when the game first came out, where you could see the name, and really honestly being able to see the name, not so much the disconnection rate, which is a good thing, but at the moment you don't necessarily know who you're playing, so to avoid people who are necessarily laggy or have bad connections or play you one game, that is kind of hard to avoid now, essentially. But with the trailer we have now, it kind of just shows off some cool things related to New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I'm a big fan of. So I kind of wanted to just take a look at it anyway, just to see what it has. So let's take a quick look. I'm honestly a really big fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and as that being so, I'm really happy about this. But we'll talk more about Tekken after this is all said and done, because with Geese being added in December, hopefully more comes with it besides just a new character. So let's address that a little bit after. So let's take a look. Let's quit talking. More punchies. Ugh. Alright, Rainmaker, that was an awesome costume. And we got Kenny Omega, Brian Fury. And we got some Tanahashi Naito, Tenquilo. Tanahashi!
皆さん、はじめまして。新日本プロレス100年に一人の一代、棚橋宏です。新日本プロレス鉄拳コラボ第3弾。実は僕のラブコールで実現しました。
I don't know what he's saying, but it's hype. Oh, they gave Lars Naito's costume. That's cool. I don't play Lars, but that looks sick. High five! Roll!
実際に僕が来て新日本のリングで戦います。
World Tag. I like how they're turning Tekken into more like a play for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh wait, they got the new Tekken shirts. That's sick. I love that. More shit, and they got the fucking shirt for Rayman. Okay, now they got a new interface. That's cool looking. They got the new interface. And they got a new background song. Ah, they gave Lars a new super. Alright, that's pretty cool. Nice. Comes out November 18th. November 18th. It's year, month, and then day. Alright. Real quick. Couple things. I like it that how they're pushing New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's cool. At the same time, though, they have a new interface, which they showed off. I don't necessarily know if that's going to come with anything else, but that's kind of the big thing I wanted to address with Tekken. It's not, and the thing is, I'm not coming down on Tekken, but that's something they need to really get on, because I've seen a lot of things related to basically how the interface is not the greatest, and compared to the first time around, like when they added bowling, that was cool, and I have a project in mind related to that, because that bowling was like $14, and me being just a whale and a fanboy, I had to buy it. So I have a thing related to King coming out related to the bowling, because I had to do something, because that was way too much money to not. But regardless, just Tekken kind of just needs a netcode connection that works. Just bring really all it needs is just the name, the ability to see people's names, and just keep the interface with the disconnect rate, and that's pretty much all it needs. As far as the platform for the Bullet Club and New Japan Pro Wrestling, that's awesome. And with Geese out, I mean, perhaps that'll bring some more. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't necessarily think, but just the whole netcode issue has been a thing for a little while, and maybe characters like Lei and Julia that need to be brought back. That'll come with any other future updates. So that's pretty much about Tekken. So not a lot, just short and sweet. Just get on that netcode, Harada. Make the interface a little bit better, and just make it so there's no more disconnects. And maybe that's just the PS4 version, because I have that, and perhaps it's not as bad on the PC, and I've honestly been tempted to get Tekken on the PC, so maybe I should consider that. If anyone has any information to contribute related to that, I'd honestly like to know myself, and for anyone else who watches. So thanks for that. Alright, next part, last half of this video related to Dragon Ball Z Fighters. We finally have a release date, which is January 26th, which in my earlier video related to Ginyu and Nappa, I found out too, the whole Ginyu force is going to be a part of Captain Ginyu's attack regimen and his moveset. Really cool. I can't wait to really see how that works. Now, back in my Yamcha and Nappa video, I kind of stated that the Japanese release date would be February 1st, and I said we would get it after, but it's actually a lot sooner than what I earlier anticipated and found out. But another thing I did find out, along with like the box art being just the sickest shit with Goku on the front, the addition of 8 other characters that we haven't heard about yet will be in a fighters pack. And the fighters pack isn't included with the collector's edition, the one with the statue, and that's going to be $140, which is actually really surprising, but a little worrisome, even though it fits in that trend of like DLC being contributed after the fact, and whether it's due to funding and they have to get the game out by this time, or why can they just wait. It's kind of been this way always for a lot of fighting games, just new additions like Guilty Gear or Street Fighter. And yes, it's basically their hand in our pocket, but it's also to see if the game does well, which, I mean, in this case, I'm sure it's not hard to see that Dragon Ball Z Fighter is going to do well, but I think maybe there's too much of a recurring trend. However, I don't necessarily think that's going to change, but I do have ideas for necessarily how this could work. If there are going to be future additions to any particular fighting game, which is not really going to change, you can give, there are coupons all the time there are bonuses all the time for like buying a game early or pre-ordering something. You could include essentially coupons that for this fighter pack being an additional $35 is really hefty, especially for people who don't necessarily have the luxury of buying multiple editions or buying that. Like, I haven't played a lot of Marvel yet because essentially I haven't had the time to buy, or in the time and the money to just get the characters, sit down with them. The characters I want, Monster Hunter and Black Panther, I want to play those characters, and just, it's a $30 pack. I'm still going to buy it when I have the funds, but at the same time, though, that's a lot. And for 3 characters only be out, and Sigma is also included in that. And I know there are later characters down the road, But they should really consider just if the characters are going to be released on a schedule, like there's never all the characters out at once. In rare instances, maybe, but like Mortal Kombat X, they're having 3 like DLC packs. And you have the ability to buy all of them at once, and then later on down the road, you'll have access to them. But maybe there's some people who just want to buy the 3 characters that they care about. Well, they could essentially they should have an option of where you can just include this pack. You can get these 3 characters right now, and if you just want those characters, then that's it. But I've seen that before, but more and more I see it like you got to get them all now, and you can buy them individually, but it's like $6 a character, and that's really steep. So it makes it so, yeah, buying all the characters at once is a better deal, but at the same time, you draw people away who essentially always focus on, oh my god, I got to get all these characters, or oh my god, this new edition comes out later, like Rev 2, Guilty Gear Revelator and all that. Even though the game was like $40-$30, it's still like a new iteration comes out 5 or 6 months later. That's kind of steep, you know. So just really more options help, and giving the options, or giving people more ability to buy your product and buy it their way, essentially, just instead of just giving them one thing. But other than that, it's just good. I mean, Dragon Ball Z Fighters is going to be out sooner than we thought, so yay for that. But in the future, and I'm not going to essentially change the world with this, but giving people more options is good when it comes to this case, because some people might want to buy their characters at their own pace. So that's really all I have to say about that. Alright guys, I'm gonna chime out for now. So I hope I'm back soon, related to actually Injustice 2, related to Hellboy, because I'm assuming that's going to be out soon enough come November. I really just want to see how he plays. I haven't played Injustice in a while, and I'm hoping I had planned on getting back into it when he comes out, because he's really the character I'm looking forward to the most. So let's see. Oh, projects. I have a Nostalgia Critic type style project related to My Hero Academia, and also a project related to Ghost in the Shell, related to acting and casting, and just more KI, more of the usual spiel. I'm getting in the better habit of planning. I'm still not professional with my explanations in my videos, but I'm getting better, and I appreciate you guys for sticking around. And I mean, the views and subscriptions keep going up, so I really appreciate that. You guys are awesome, and you really motivate me every single day. So I will be back next time for whatever comes my way or any other news. Guys, take care, shine on, see you next time.